one of the things that they fixed was this very infamous scene where you walk in on two monsters expressing their emotions in a very mature way.
Okay.
And
Is it the
original,
bear scene?
yeah. No,
Oh,
no,
I've
no.
heard
It's not.
about
No,
it.
it's not the bear scene. It's not the druid scene.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hello, rivals, and welcome to another episode of Game Rivals. I am your host, Maximilian X, and as always, I have with me AlanBug. AlanBug, would you please introduce yourself to the beautiful rivals out there?
Hello, my name is AlanBug. I'm Brazilian, 34 years old, future project management manager and content creator on YouTube and streamer on Twitch.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. I said always, but what I meant was welcome to a new episode, as always. But that's okay. We are just going to go with it. I have Alan Bug with me here today, and we are going to be taking it a little bit more chill in this episode. We're just going to talk about the gaming year that we have all experienced, and we're going to give our personal takes on that and see if we were right in the end. Because as you're listening to this, the Game Awards is just around the corner, and I'm sure you all have your favorites that you think that might win. And we also wanted to bring up some stuff about like what we think will be nominated, is nominated, and see how it eventually pans out. Am I going to be right? Is AlanBug going to be right? We
Oh,
don't know, but it's going to be a good conversation anyway. So let's just kick it off right away. And I'm going to say first of all, Alan, like we already talked about this beforehand, and like I'm a big Nintendo fan. Oh, obviously, I'm gonna want like a Nintendo game to win. I don't think that, like, for example, Metroid Prime Remaster is gonna be nominated, but it did score pretty well. So it doesn't mean that it isn't out of the window. But personally, I think that is gonna be Tears of the Kingdom because that game was so good. I don't know if you had the chance to play it or not, or at least check out some of the reviews for it. But I have to say, like after playing through that game, it is the sequel that people deserve to get. That's my personal opinion on it. Anyways.
you see, we already have like some interesting different views on that one because, first of all, the first time that I played Breath of the Wild, I was
Hmm.
very cautious about it. I was like, is this gonna be any good? It's an open world. I don't like open world games. Let's start there.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So when I saw Breath of the Wild the first time, I was a little bit afraid of how it would turn out. And once I started playing, I swear to God, I would every day get home from work, sit in front of my TV, and play like Zelda until it's time to go to bed. That was the whole for like 3 months. I think that's the amount of time
Oh,
that took.
dang. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of available time after work, but I would play like
Hmm.
3 hours every day, like every day religiously after I
Yeah.
get home from work. And then Tears of the Kingdom came around, right? And I saw the trailers. I saw that ascent power, the flying, the islands in the sky, and I was like, "Oh my god, this looks very impressive." Looking forward to
Hmm.
it. And then it came
Yeah.
out. I bought the Zelda, the Nintendo Switch Zelda edition.
Oh, dang. Okay. You went all
Yes,
out.
I went all
Okay.
out, and I was like, "Okay." And I had a Switch. I sold my Switch to buy a new one. I was like, "Okay, I wanna try this," and then I did, and then I
Hmm.
started playing. I didn't play a lot of it. So
Okay.
take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. All right. But I'm afraid I'm not going to like it as much as I liked Breath of the Wild. And my reasoning is
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Explain. Explain.
when I played Breath of the Wild, like I just told you, I would
Hmm.
be eager to play the game that I wasn't able to help myself. I would get home, sit and play, play, play. Then I would go to work, get home, sit and play, play, play. I am currently playing Blasphemous, the first game, and I'm going to
Ooh.
talk more about this later.
Yeah.
And I have the same feeling. Like right now, I'm talking to you, and I'm thinking like I want to play the game. I was streaming earlier today. And I'm like, I want to play the game. I'm on the subway and I'm playing the game. You know,
Yeah.
and this didn't happen to me in Tears of the Kingdom. So
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if it's because I didn't play enough, so I didn't develop that feeling, or if it's just not the game for me.
Well, if that's the case, then I want to ask you, how far are you currently in Tears of the Kingdom? Because I think when you tell me how far you are, I can maybe understand why it hasn't grabbed you yet.
I opened towers. I got I think one tier.
Mm-hmm.
I went underground, but just for a second. My friend told me
Mm,
there is an animation when you go underground. I didn't see the animation when you go underground. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But he said, "Oh, when you go underground, it's so cool that animation." I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, when you go down the hole, like, don't you see an animation? Like, no, I didn't see an animation. So I don't know what happened there. But I went down once. I saw those monsters with the hands, like they
yeah.
look like a horror movie, man.
Yeah.
And then I gave up because I think they killed me very quickly. I was like, okay, so I shouldn't be here yet. But that's how far I
Mm,
went. I'm not too far. I'm not too far at all.
okay. Oh,
Maybe I
that's
played
very.
5 hours, 6 hours of it.
Oh, that's very early. Okay, then I understand why it hasn't grabbed you yet. Because I don't know why they said like the animation. I think what they meant was, did you notice how? Sorry, that's weird. Did you notice how seamless it was going down? Because you have to really have to think like it's not even like about like the animation or anything, but just the thought of this running on a Switch and having basically a seamless experience. Like I've seen clips of people jumping from like a sky island all the way down to the underground without any loading, nothing. Everything was as seamless as you could imagine. And that on a system that is at this point 7 years old, working with tech that's even older than that. And that is to me one of the most impressive things. And um I think the reason why it hasn't grabbed you yet is because you haven't reached you haven't explored the underground yet. Because the underground, mm, okay, try not to get too spoilery because I think it is worth experiencing yourself.
Okay.
Is that once you go to the first time you go to the underground, you will have that revelation of, oh, maybe I'm here too early, because it is a lot harder, and that is intentional because the underground, story wise, is some place that nobody's ever been prior to this game, right? So no, there's no knowledge there. Like you're going in blind, as it were. Partially also because it's super dark in there. Once you hit that first location marker underground, then it starts to make sense because then you have all your powers and you get to experiment with the powers and like making stuff. And that is, at least for me, that was the hook. Like once I understood each and every power that I had, specifically the ones to build stuff. And it's not so much a spoiler, but there is something else in the underground that you have to get. And once you get that, it clicks. And then from
Okay.
that point on, it's like full steam ahead, exploration galore. And I know you're not like a big on the whole like open world stuff. And to be fair, neither am I. There are only a handful of games that I can count that I'm really into when it comes to open world. Zelda is one of them, and that's only because they do it in a unique way that is not the Ubisoft way, if you know what I mean, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
with the whole like eagle vision and blah blah blah, like old school Assassin's Creed stuff. Well, old school Assassin's, they still do that. But yeah, like that's not the feeling that you have. And it's the same feeling that I had when I played Breath of the Wild the first time. Sure, you have the towers, but like that's the extent of that, right? Once you hit the towers, that's it. Like it's something that you need to get so that you get more map, but it also adds to like a goal that you have to go for. And that's one of the things that I really loved about Tears of the Kingdom is that it did that so much better than Breath of the Wild. It gave you it's where Breath of the Wild still kind of felt like, oh, it's trying to guide you. towards a specific place. Here they say, okay, we are giving you certain objectives that need to be met, but you don't have to do it in order. You don't have to worry about like what order you're doing it. Just go. Like just go and do your thing. Um and just explore and like take in the story of the world, which is told way better this time, by the way. Like you remember in the last game, they did it with like the memory stuff,
Yes.
and the memories are fine. That was a choice that they made.
Mm.
Not everybody agreed with that. I thought it was fine. This, on the other hand, you said you got a tier, right? So that means you know that that's kind of how they're doing at least part of the storytelling. But because this is an established world, you don't have to rely on just that anymore. They added more ways to experience the story at large, through just gameplay and meeting other NPCs in the world. Because the NPCs in Breath of the Wild did not really give you anything other than, oh, like this is how they have been essentially forced to adapt to this world that is in ruin, and now you're in a world that's been in recovery, it's been building up, it's been like restoring itself, and the people have actually moved on, and it feels way more lived in than it did in Breath of the Wild, which is part of also another reason why Tears of the Kingdom just feels good. It feels like a world, like an actual world that you live in, and traversal is made a lot more interesting because that you can build stuff. Like I've built cars, I have built flying contraptions. There's this one contraption that I that a friend shared with me from I think I want to say TikTok or YouTube or whatever. That is like the best thing to use when you're in the underground because it makes traversal so much more easier. Just experiencing I here's the thing, I beat it and I was so happy, and like and then I was sad because I was like, well, dang, I kind of can't go back to this game and have that same experience anymore, which is weird because I've actually beaten Breath of the Wild multiple times and I've played through it multiple times, and I was able to like re-experience that, and feel that I think part of the reason why I feel the way that I do about Tears of the Kingdom is the story. The story is like it got me, and I was it like emotionally it got me, and like the ending was very beautiful. Again, not gonna spoil it. If you've played it, you know what the ending is. You know what the whole thing is about the game, and then you understand what the even the title means. And damn, that feels like a big spoiler, actually.
No, no, that's
No,
okay. It's
no.
okay. I don't
Um, it's oh, you're not like you don't mind spoilers or stuff like that.
lightly spoilers because the
Okay,
journey is more important than the end per se. So if you're gonna
yeah,
tell me like a little piece of it, I don't mind that much.
yeah. No, like the journey. In this case, the journey does really feel like you're playing a story and not playing a game to get story. You
Okay,
really, yeah, that really, yeah, honestly, that's probably the best way to explain that one. The combat is good. Like it's still the same, but they changed just enough to make it more what's the word I'm looking, to make it more acceptable.
okay,
With the breaking, because you still have your items breaking, but you can prevent the items breaking faster by combining weapons and using that instead. So you don't have to really worry about like weapon loss. I never really worried about weapon loss. My problem was what am I going to combine next? What kind of crazy weapon I'm going to put together? What kind of crazy contraption am I going to put together? I don't know if you've seen like some of the videos that people put up, but people like I this is one of the conversations that I had with a friend of mine, and it's like there is like you're seeing people's real natures coming out with these contraptions. It's like literally contraptions that break the Geneva Convention, and probably people that have never heard of the Geneva Convention. So they're just like going completely ham with like the death traps that they're making for these enemies. I'm like, some of these are creative and like really cool. One of them that I saw was someone made a contraption where they put a bunch of cuckoos in, and that instantly cooked the cuckoos into like the whole birds, so that heals more. That's how they were making sure that they have like healing items with them the whole time. It, on a conveyor belt, no less. Like they put the cuckoos in, it toasts them with lasers, and they come out as like done birds. Like, how do you even think of that and assume that it actually works? Why would you think that would work in the game? And it just the crazy thing is, it worked in the game. That is so weird.
You see, even though I am in this creative space,
Yeah.
I think I'm not a creative person. I'm a person that works hard, but I'm not a creative person.
Mm.
And when I see Zelda and all those creations, the first thing that comes to my mind is Minecraft.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I don't play Minecraft is that like you give me a blank canvas,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this blank canvas. Give me a direction. What do you expect from me? That's how
Yeah.
my brain
Yeah.
works, you know? So maybe I did very little building on Tears of the Kingdom, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But another game that we're gonna mention later during this podcast is Lies of P. It also has this mechanic that you can combine different weapons to make a new weapon.
Yeah.
And I finished the game without doing that.
Wait,
I only
seriously?
used the main weapons, and I'm very happy with them.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm just giving you, and people listening to this are gonna be like, "This guy is stupid. He's boring. He doesn't know what's what." But that's how my brain works. You give me something, I'm like, okay, this is good to be used for its purpose.
Yeah.
You know. So you give me a sword, I'm not gonna think I'm gonna put this rock here, attached to the sword. I'm gonna break those other rocks. That's not how it works. I'm gonna get a bomb to destroy the rocks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Which is my limitation,
Yeah.
you know. So it's subjective
Mhm.
on how much I'm gonna like of Tears of the Kingdom. I will of course play more,
Yeah.
but for now,
Mm.
we might talk about this later. I still like Breath of the Wild more because
Yeah.
it kind of points me in a direction,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, here's where I want me to go.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going.
Okay. Cool. Fair. Fair. Since we're talking about Lies of P, anyways, do you think the Lies of P is going to be on the list?
I don't think so because I think it was released too late. I've heard.
No, because that doesn't
Uh,
make sense. Because Alan Wake 2 released after that.
But do you so but Alan Wake might not be in the list as well.
Oh, I think it's going to be on the list.
I If it's on the list, I think it's gonna be either Alan Wake's 2
Mhm.
or Baldur's Gate for Game of the Year.
Oh,
Because the reviews of Alan Wake are just awesome. I haven't played yet.
yeah, I haven't played it yet either. I still plan on picking it up. I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't played the first game.
I haven't finished the first game. I've played it. It's
Okay,
too
but you
scary.
have.
I'm a coward.
Oh, okay. We're team chicken here. Like both things. It's the reason why I
Yes.
haven't played the
Yes.
first game actually. But I've seen stuff of the second game, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want to play this game now because the story seems interesting, and I still want to play the first one, even though I know that I'm scared. I might stream it so that I can actually like brave it with other people. But here's my thing: why I'm saying that like Lies of P has an equal chance of being on the list as Alan Wake 2 because we we haven't had anything like Souls like or Born like this year, right? So I feel like some at least if the judges were looking at stuff like that, they might consider Lies of P to be put on the list. I don't think it has a big chance of being put on the list. I feel like if it was going to be put on the list, it would be because of that. They wanted some diversity on the list.
All right, since we are in this subject,
Yeah.
let's start talking about the games we played this year,
Yeah,
shall we?
sure.
Because then we got when I get to Lies of P,
Mm.
I will give you all my opinions about it.
All right.
But if that's okay for you,
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
list that I made here, and I will say I have a little bit to talk about anything, but Lies of P has a special place in my heart.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So,
All right,
what games have you been playing this year?
look, I've played actually more games than I thought I've played.
Oh, okay.
When you told me like, tell me a list of the games you played, I was like, I don't think I played that many games, but I played about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games,
Mm.
which is not too bad,
Yeah.
I would say, like once a month ish, right?
Yeah.
So Mario Kart 8, I usually play when I'm streaming
Mm.
with the community. It's just a fun time,
Yeah.
right? I have played Hollow Knight before,
Mm.
but I played it again and I did a 112%, which is the max that you can achieve on Hollow Knight. Have you played Hollow Knight?
I have played Hollow Knight. I have not beaten Hollow Knight. I got
What?
lost. Like I think after the first boss, I got lost. Yeah,
Sir, you gotta go back to it.
I know. I am gonna go back to it because I want to be able to. I want to beat it before Silk Song eventually comes out, and I know it's gonna
Oh,
come
but
out. So that's
you have time.
yeah.
You have time.
I want to do it. I probably want to do that on stream because that'll give me the drive to do it because that's how I beat um, Hades this year,
Oh, it is a fantastic
and
game, and I'm so glad I did not stream
I
it.
regret not playing it sooner. And I am so happy that I streamed it because, at least for me, myself personally, because I know for a fact that if I did not stream it, I would not finish that game.
You see, to me, it's completely the opposite. If I was streaming, I wouldn't finish the game. I'm gonna explain you why.
Okay, yeah.
Some games I really have to tunnel vision
Mm,
and just focus on it, you know? And Hades is such a fast-paced game. It's like bang, bang, bang all the time. For me, it's very hard to like try to keep up with chat
yeah.
and playing a game like that. I love Apex Legends. Love to my core. I've been playing Apex for like 3, 4 years.
Mm,
All right. I am unable to stream Apex. I love Marvel Snap. I play Marvel Snap almost every day.
okay.
All right.
Same, same.
I am unable to stream Marvel Snap. I'm like, I'm going up on ranks on Marvel Snap, like from 70, 80, 85. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to stream. The moment I start streaming, I go all the way down to 60 because I'm reading chat and then I'm not focusing on the game. And then if I'm focusing on the game,
You're not
I'm not reading
focusing.
chat.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, so
I
for me,
get it.
that's a tough one.
All right. Okay.
My my next on the list is Marvel Snap. I didn't know you play.
Yeah, I play. Yeah.
What's your collector level?
Right now, geez, I think I'm like 7K or something. I think, yeah.
Whoa,
Oh,
7K?
I'm like day one. I'm like day one.
I'm day one as well, but I didn't reach 7K. I think I'm like six.
Okay, I mean that's still not bad. That's still not bad. To be fair though, like I have a friend that also plays, and we've been like, and he's been like playing since the beta, so like he's a way higher. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh no, I'm
I'm
7K as well.
I'm 72.95 at this point.
72.95. I'm 7077.
Okay, so it's not even that far off. So yeah, that makes sense.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. I'm
yeah. But like like there's a different reason why I don't stream Marvel Snap, and that's mostly because it's like a it's a downtime thing for me. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but
This is something. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, so like that. So I'm not playing that on stream, and like I feel like we're kind of a little bit the opposite when it comes to streaming because I use chat to like. Okay, sorry, that sounds really wrong when I'm saying I use chat, but chat is there, and whenever chat is there, it the chat always encourages me and like keeps me going on and on. And we'll get to one game specifically that I'm currently playing, where chat has kind of been indisposable, like not indisposable, has been unmissable. Dang it, that
Uh-huh.
is really annoying. uh,
Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry.
and it is, and it's been such a good thing to have chat like supporting me. And the reason why I'm saying like with Hades is because Hades at a certain point the grind got to me, right? It's like
Mm.
I wasn't making real progress, and once I was able to get over that hump, once I was able to find the groove of the game, at that point it was just smooth sailing. And if it wasn't for chat like like encouraging me to like keep playing, keep going, and like not give up, then like, and then once I finally was able to beat it, I was able to celebrate with chat, and that was a really nice
Oh.
moment for me because I started is on a whim. I started playing Hades from New Year's Eve, because I was okay. Like New Year's Eve, like I did a New Year's like celebration on Twitch, um, and then I just started playing it, and I didn't stop until I finished it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat this game on stream. That's a commitment that I'm making to you guys on chat, and I was doing that, and that's why I was able to beat it. It took me like stream time wise because I did play some offline to make a little bit more progress. But most of it was on stream. I think it took me three 3 months maybe to beat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often would you were you streaming?
Back when my schedule was actually still doable, twice a week for like
Twice a
three
week. Okay.
3 hours or so. Yeah, and then
Wow.
off stream I would play like maybe like an hour here or there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hades to me is my downtime, like you
Ah.
said,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh it's a game that I like to go and get in the zone
Yeah. I can
and
get that.
just enjoy. I would play now on stream
Yeah.
because now I already know the story. Now it's just combat and me showing off because I'm a freaking awesome player.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like, but some games I'm playing Blasphemous now offline,
Mm.
right? Just for myself.
Yeah.
But it's a game that I want to stream. One thing I've been streaming for almost 2 years now, right? And one thing that I still have to find a balance is like I gotta remember I'm streaming because I want to. It's not a job. So if I keep putting chat or what I think is chat will like above what I like, I might be missing out opportunity to meet more people like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Mm.
now I've made a decision to go stream only Zelda, and then I tried that, and I got sick of Zelda. Like, and I have a Zelda tattoo on my elbow as well.
Yeah. Oh dang.
Okay,
Okay.
I do, but I was like, I can't. I love Zelda. I
Yeah.
love Zelda, I really do,
Oh dang. That's a cool one.
but I can't just be playing Breath of the Wild or whatever others because I need more than that.
Yeah.
So once I'm done college, I'm back to streaming. The first game I want to play is Lies of P on stream, and then I
Mm.
might replay Blasphemous, and then I want to play my Mario, and I want to just do whatever makes me happy,
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years to come to
To
this
figure that out. Yeah.
to come to
Yeah.
this conclusion that like, okay, I love chat and I'm glad chat is there, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I want. Because if I'm just gonna play something because other people want, what's the difference of me doing that or going work a 9 to 5 job, right?
Yeah.
That's my thought process there.
Yeah. True. Okay. Fair. 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 Like again, that everybody has their own process in like streaming, and that's the same for me. That's the same for you. Um, and that's great because if you're not doing it, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it becomes a grind, and and it stops being fun. And
Yes,
the whole point is it's supposed to stay fun for you, and if it's fun for you, it's fun for chat. And that's how that works.
that my friend. It took me too long to realize that.
That's fine. I had the same problem too. For like because I started streaming back in 2014, and like my goal back then was trying to get more viewers, and it wasn't until I started streaming again back in 20 been doing that for 2.5 years now, so like
2020.
2021,
Okay.
um that I realized that, oh, okay, it's supposed to be fun for me too. Like I have to find something that is fun for me to share. And that's part of the reasons why I do streams now is I want to be able to share experiences. It's also one of the reasons why for Halloween this year I played Dead Space Extraction on the
Mm.
Wii on stream
Mm.
because it's a game that I experienced before, that I've played before, and I know that a lot of people probably don't even know that that game exists in the Dead Space universe. So it was a fun time for me to share it, but also rediscover the game and remind me why I only played it once. Like I beat the game. The game is luckily not that long. It's like 10 chapters, maybe like 10 hours, I think. No, it's less than that. It's like 7 hours. Um and yeah, like I'm like, okay, like now I remember, like it's like I don't know why. It feels like it was more scarier playing it now than I did the
Mm.
first time around, and I don't know
Really
why. Yeah,
interesting.
maybe I've grown more scared as I've gotten older because the game's like 14 years old, and I was like, 14 years younger Max is was not that scared. What happened? So,
Did you play the
um,
remake?
no, because Dead Space Extraction. Oh, you mean the remake of Dead Space? No, but
Yeah,
it is on Game Pass now,
it
so
is. It is.
I would kind of wish it came out sooner because I probably would have streamed that instead. But I am looking
Ooh.
forward to playing that one off stream, just like going through it at my own pace. Because I
I
remember I did play it back in the day, but I never beat it.
I did beat it. I started streaming uh the OG one,
Mm.
and I cannot quite remember why I stopped, but I think it's just because I wasn't getting the same feeling out of it. But the new one
Okay.
looks so pretty that I
Oh yeah, it looks
might
good.
give it another try.
Yeah. That also, like we are talking about that, but that also might actually have a shot of being on the list.
I was just about to say that. You are a very smart man.
Yeah. I don't know how big the shot is because there are a lot of contenders on this list. I mean, like I was already
RE4 remake.
yeah, so that one, have you played that one?
I haven't. I played
That
the
one is also on
OG
my
this year
list.
for the first time.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I played it back on the GameCube. Like I've beaten that one multiple times. It's great.
So, okay, let's talk about that.
Sure. Let's talk about RE4.
Because Resident Evil 4, I understand how it changed the game industry. I
Yeah.
saw it happening. I saw how other games, including another game on my list, which is God of War,
Hmm.
took that camera like high, like from the waist up, kind of on the back of the character, and
Yeah.
applied. And there is so many games nowadays that use that kind of camera, and that kind of concept. So don't get me wrong. I know that game revolution. It changed the game industry. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted
It
to say.
changed.
All
Yeah.
right,
It
it
changed
really
the game.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
it changed the game. That being said, is an to this day standard, because I played this year, is on my
Mm.
list, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an okay game. It's a good game, but
But.
oh my god, it overstays its welcome. Because if have ended
Hmm.
3 hours before the actual end, I would have
Yeah.
enjoyed it way more. There was a moment I was like, oh, this is the end. I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting that area to be the last area.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, there was another one. I was like, okay, so this is the end. And then there was another. I was like, okay, so this is the end. And like this happened to me like 3 or 4 times by the last hours of the game. And I just wish that the game was slightly shorter, just a little bit. 2 to 3 hours shorter would have made a whole lot of difference on my opinion, on my final opinion of Resident Evil 4.
I actually did replay that on the Switch not too long ago, maybe like earlier this year, because they
Okay.
re-released it the NHD version of that. I'm trying to think if you're right or not
Be
because
honest. Be honest.
no, because here's the thing, right? Because I've beaten it multiple times before, so for me, the pacing is what it is. Like I have not experienced it in any other way than what it is, and maybe like there are some moments in there that mm, it feels longer. Like when I played through it, it did feel like it was longer than I remember it being. But I just chalked it up to either poor memory of like playing the games because the last time I played it to completion was on the GameCube, and that was a while ago. Um, but playing through it again on the Switch, yeah, it feels like it could have been a shorter experience. I don't know if that's the same, by the way, for the remake, because with the remake they took the core concept and they have basically done what they did with the other two remakes and like kind of flipped it on its head. A lot of the elements are still very recognizable, same, but if okay, I might agree with you a little bit,
A
like
little
but
bit
a little bit, but only by today's standards.
by today's standards. Yeah,
By
that's my, yeah.
I think it came out in 2004. By
Yes,
2004 standards, it was fine.
it
There
was
was like
awesome.
nothing wrong with it.
It was awesome,
And like that was one of the few games that came on like two like GameCube discs, so that was actually kind of cool. And I
dude.
and you know and there is like okay, so the reason why I'm saying that is because the pacing is you switch basically halfway through the game to the second disc, and the
Okay,
second disc is about as long as the first disc. So that I think that's why it didn't feel as long because the
maybe
first disc is relatively short. Um, so I think when I played the second game, so it's always about the same length. So, but playing it now when there's no discs, when you're just playing through it in one go, basically there is no break.
yes.
So it feels longer than I think I experienced it back in the day. It could have been. It's still the same length. So there's nothing changed. Nothing changed between the years. It just feels like more cohesive, even though they still break it up in chapters and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
just like I said, it's not the pacing of the game throughout the game.
yeah,
It's just the last bits,
yeah,
the last areas. I was like, please be the end of it.
yeah. I think they did that because they had to split the game into two discs, so they wanted to have it equally long. But if you're playing it in one go, you lose that little bit of like, oh, I feel I'm at the halfway point because now you don't know where the halfway point is
Yeah,
especially when you're playing through it the first time. So okay, yeah, all right, yeah,
and
it might be a little bit longer.
I didn't even mention the controllers because you
Oh,
played that old style. Nowadays, my friend, I was like, what is this controller?
they improved it on the Wii version because the Wii version used the Wii mode, so that one had free aiming.
Oh my god.
Honestly, if you're gonna play the classic one, find the Wii version. It's gonna be an arm and a leg in costs, but it's gonna be worth playing it with the Wii version because at least that way you have the free aiming and walking. You can walk and aim with the Wii mode. I don't know why they took it out. Yeah, I don't know why they took it out of like the HD remakes. It makes no sense because the option is there.
Wow.
They did it that way. And I think the only other version that has the walking and gunning is the VR version, but we do not talk about the VR version. It's a good VR version. I don't own VR and I don't care because I don't want to play a scary game in VR.
Oh my god, high five to that. I'm also not doing that at all. Ain't no way I'm doing that.
People are trying to convince me that I should like play RE7 in VR. I'm like, are you insane?
No.
Yeah,
No, it's not happening.
that
All
ain't
right.
happening.
Moving on the list. So Mario
Yes,
Kart,
yes.
Hollow Knight, Marvel Snap.
Mm,
This was the next game. I made one of the most stupidest decision I've ever made in my life was to play God of War 2018 on
hmm.
the hardest mode.
Oh, okay.
In my mind, last year I played Sekiro, which is
Yeah.
the best game I've ever played that has combat in it. It's Sekiro. Period.
Okay. Damn. All right. High
Period.
praise.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and that game made me a better player overall. My
Mm.
parry skills now, just the best. All right,
All right.
the best I can be. Okay,
Yeah.
because of Sekiro, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, ha, I beat Sekiro. I can
Mm.
beat any game. I will play God of War on the hardest mode, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be a walk in the park. And I could not be more freaking wrong, especially especially at the beginning of the game. Because
Mm.
again, I went in cocky. I went in like this is gonna be easy,
Yeah.
right? I got my ass whooped by the first enemy at least like 10 times, and then later in the game on the Valkyries,
Yeah.
that
Oh, don't even get me started on the Valkyries.
those actually humbled me, especially the last one. It took me
Mm.
8 hours to beat the last Valkyrie, 2.5 streams to beat the last Valkyrie.
All right. I
Brutal.
will give you the kudos because I encountered my first Valkyrie and it like I noped out of that so hard.
Did you play on
like
the
I
hardest mode?
no no no. I played a normal. I am not an insane person. Oh no no no! I want to be able to beat games, and even then, like I didn't play it on stream. I played it like offline, like 2 years ago because people were insisting that I play it, and like I finally did beat it eventually, and it's like that took me months, like of on and off play. And I when I got to the first Valkyrie and I tried it a couple of times, I was like, you know what? The story is waiting for me. I'm gonna do that first. And then when I beat the story, I was thinking about it and I was talking about it with some people, and I was like, yeah, I made the right decision to not do the Valkyries because I think either one, I would quit the game altogether, or two, I would just straight up like nuke the whole game. Because that did not seem like a good time to me. I
Dude.
didn't like it. Like even I'm thinking back to that specific game, thinking about the ending of that game. Did I have a hard? Yeah, I did. Actually, I didn't even have that hard a time doing the final boss.
So if you do, I think God of War is very smart on that area,
Yeah.
the like storyline, because the
Mm.
way that they make the game, which I learned recently, there is some Brazilian that they did release a podcast. So we were talking about podcasts before we
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
recording. I was listening to a podcast with one of the art directors of the game,
Mm.
and he's Brazilian,
Mm.
and they are very smart because if you're only going for the main story, the game is not that hard. Even in the hardest mode, the game is supposed to like not hold your hand but allow you
Yeah.
to go through it, you know.
Yeah.
Now if you want to have side quests, if you want to defeat the Valkyries, if you want to get all the ravens,
Mm.
then my friend, you are in for some beats because that
Yeah.
game will punch you down. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Hmm.
Overwatch 2, I started playing this year. I don't play often, but I like it. Junkrat
Okay.
Man. If anyone else is a Junkrat, hit me up. Do you play Overwatch?
I have tried.
Ooh, what
I
happened
have
there?
tried. Well, I don't have anybody to play it with. That's a big one. But also, I'll also not just only that is that it like the gameplay feels how do I say this? Oh, actually, I know how to say this. I'm not great at first person shooters. Like straight up, I'm not great at first person shooters. I have played first person. I've played first person shooters. I've played Call of Duty. Um I've played Battlefield, or at least I tried to play
Any good
Battlefield.
game?
Uh, and name anything.
Because Call of
I've
Duty
at
and
least tried.
Battlefield, you can throw it in the trash. Don't worry about those.
I I don't know. Like I've played a bunch of first person games, but I'm really like I'm having a hard time trying to think of others that I have played outside of those.
Have
That
you
I'm
ever
like, oh,
played
that was like
Apex Legends?
I have. I suck at it.
That one is the hardest one, and is my drug. Is my drug, my friend. That's the
Damn.
game that
Okay.
I'm most addicted to.
I gotta be honest. I tried day one. I tried like my very best, but it's I don't know what it is. I am not good at that game at all.
It is a hard game. It's
Yeah.
so hard. Don't worry, you're not the only
Yeah.
one. I play for like 4 years and I'm still trash. It's really hard.
Nah, I'm pretty sure you're pretty good at this point. Cause no, I'm pretty sure you're like I don't know like diamond rank or platinum rank or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
see,
that.
so you're good.
No, no, no. Okay. Let's move along then from the
Yeah.
FPS. Okay,
Yeah.
have you played Celeste? Because that's the next on my list. Celeste,
I've played Celeste, yes.
how you like it?
All right, so getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because I'm currently playing Super Mario Wonder. I feel like Celeste, at least playing through the main Mario Wonder levels, I feel like Celeste does things a bit better with a lot less. Because like Celeste has a very simple tool set, right?
Yeah,
You got jump, you got the dash.
yeah.
That's pretty much it. Oh, and
You grab the
grabbing
wall. Yeah,
walls.
yeah.
Like that's it, right? And then you have elements in the levels that'll increase your traversal powers, like like the gems and stuff like that. Um, I feel that like Celeste is a really great game to play, and it comes, of course, from like that whole line of like Super Meat Boy kind of like level design and stuff like that. And like I feel like Celeste is that perfection of that formula.
Oh,
I will honestly say that I still haven't beat Celeste yet, but I from what I've played, and I've played like I want to say I think I got halfway up the mountain. It's
okay.
just like I haven't played anything like that since. There are certain levels in Mario Wonder that get close once you get to a certain part of Super Mario Wonder, but it's still not as close as Celeste. And I don't think I've ever played a 2D platformer like Celeste since.
My friend, remember
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I haven't played any like that since.
remember when you said, "Oh, you haven't played enough of Tears of the Kingdom. That's why I didn't hook you up."
Yeah. Oh
The
no, I got hooked by Celeste. I got stuck.
the best of Celeste, which is the hardest, is yet
Yeah.
to come. Because if you're only halfway through, did you
Yeah.
get to the stage of the winds?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you pass
I
that?
got past that point. Yeah.
Because from that forward, it gets hard.
Yeah, that's where I got stuck. Because I mastered that whole wind level, and I finally got through that point. And then I don't remember what comes after that one, but I do remember that that's where I stopped.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Moving along,
Yeah.
the next on my list is Atomic Heart. I love Game Pass.
Oh,
Have you played?
how did you think it?
I
I didn't play that one, by the way.
I didn't finish,
Yeah.
but I really like the game, and I hope
Okay.
I have more time. I usually aside from Apex Legends, I
Hmm.
usually don't play first person shooters or first person games. That first person perspective kind
Yeah.
of bugs me a little bit.
Hmm.
But when I saw Atomic Heart, I was like, I want to play this. I want to see, and especially the beginning, it's so overwhelmingly and positive with the story that you are like in a like this different reality where communism won the Second World War, and the graphics are stunning, and the combat is fine, is nice, is not too bad, and I liked it. I liked it.
Mm.
And I hope they made some small improvements because I did encounter some bugs.
Yeah.
But I want to finish the game. I didn't finish, in my opinion, for the few hours that I played, maybe 5 hours that I played. It's a good game.
Did you have you ever played any of the BioShock games?
I played the first one
Hmm.
on stream and
Hmm.
I dropped it because more than once I was playing, the game
Yeah.
crashed and I lost
Uh.
progress. Like, not
Oh.
a little bit of
Wait.
progress, a lot,
What
a
were you
big
playing
chunk.
it on?
On my Xbox,
There you go. Was it the original version?
so I played the 3-in-1 version.
Wait, that bug is still there?
Dude, that's what I encountered. I bought the one, two, and infinite. I think that's the
Yeah.
and
Infinite.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the first one, and it's very scary. The gameplay
Yeah.
is a bit clunky,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
the story was okay. I was like I said, the world is interesting, right?
Hmm.
Um, but then like when it happened the second or third time, that
Yeah.
the third time I actually lost such a big chunk
Yeah.
of my save file that I was like, okay, I don't want to go through this again. The first time was just a little bit, the second time a little bit, the third time was a big chunk. Like, I opened the map, I made a clip out of it, of course. I
Hmm.
opened the map and the whole map is dark, like I never walked there. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, the whole progress that I did in the last 2 hours is lost.
It's gone. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
frustrated me. But people told me to play Fallout because they say it's as good.
I've actually beaten. Wait, which one?
They told me Fallout 4 specifically is very good.
Okay, because I've played Fallout 3. I beat Fallout 3. I think if you liked Atomic Heart, then you'll probably like Fallout.
Okay, I can try that.
Yeah, I would. I haven't played 4, so I can't recommend 4. What I
Which,
would recommend would be New Vegas.
okay, okay.
It is a
Someone else
little
told
bit
me that too. Yeah.
older. It's a little bit older, but it's way more solid.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I can give this a
in terms of
shot.
like story, instead of characters, instead of like world building, it's a way more solid.
Got it.
It's also done by Obsidian, so the pedigree for
Obsidian.
that. Obsidian, the studio that Microsoft bought like a couple of years ago.
Oh,
So they're
oh.
working on a new game under Microsoft now, and I think it's supposed to come out next. I don't wait. They didn't give a date on that one, but they did show some progress on their game. It's like this like high fantasy kind of like first person like RPG.
Hmm.
Looks really cool. Still don't know when it's going to come out yet. But they did that, and they worked on the Kotor, Knights of the Old Republic.
Not really. No. Knights of the Old
Oh
Republic, is it Star
yeah,
Wars?
Star Wars. Yeah, it was the first game was made by BioWare. The
Okay.
sequel, which people liked better than the first game, was made also by Obsidian.
Oh,
So
okay. So
Obsidian tends to like make sequels to Western RPGs
mm,
and like improve on that formula, which kind of
nice.
happened with like New Vegas, because New Vegas came out as like a pseudo sequel to Fallout 3
Okay.
before Fallout 4 came out,
Okay.
because Bethesda was working on Fallout 4 at the time, and
All
and
right.
it was actually pretty good. So yeah, honestly, I would probably recommend that one over 4, but that's also because I haven't played 4.
Fair enough. I might
Yeah,
I might give it a shot. Like I said, I might give it a shot.
yeah,
Moving along,
mm-hmm.
the Resident Evil 4, we already talked about it.
Yep,
Breath of the Wild, like I said, I was trying to only stream Zelda and
mm-hmm.
I got sick of it. Nothing wrong
Yeah,
with Zelda, it's just me. And
mm-hmm.
then we got to what I believe to be my personal
Mm-hmm.
game of the year,
All right, bring it.
Liza P.
Liza P. All right, let's talk about it.
Excellent combat. It does have some issues with like extremely big bosses. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when the boss is too big, it's hard to dodge or to literally fight him because he's taking. You can see anything. You literally can see
Yeah.
anything,
Okay.
or is a bit buggy, or he hides his own attack. Like there is a boss. Have you played it? Like have you finished?
I played the demo. I'm intending on playing it since it's on Game Pass, off stream, just
Okay.
because I still owe chat my completion of Elden Ring. So
Ah, okay.
I don't want to bring another similar game into the mix and like not finish that on stream. So
All right.
I
All
want to
right.
do that off stream.
Okay.
But yeah, you were talking about the weapon thing, because I don't think the demo allows you to really experiment with weapons,
I think the demo was
even though it
small.
does
Yeah.
show you that.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit disappointing because I kind of wanted to see like what kind of different combinations you can do with the handle and the blade.
Mm-hmm.
um and like for me, that kind of stuff is a bit more interesting, because experimenting with weapons to get to something that fits your need or fits a specific need during combat is something that I really enjoy in video games, because
Okay.
it feels more like the character that you're playing basically turns into a Swiss Army knife of death, for example. So that makes it feel more interesting for me. Like it's fine if it's the one weapon and if it's a reliable weapon, I'll stick with it, because that's how I usually play stuff like Monster Hunter. I will stick with like I'll build like the weapon that I think is good, and I'll just stick to it throughout most of the campaign, unless the monster requires me to switch up and change weapon types. But like I kind of was kind of curious to see how that works, if it's a good system or not. Because the way I see it is, if you felt like you only needed to stick to the weapon that you needed or felt like was okay to you, then I feel like the games weapon system might not be as strong as the developers had hoped.
I
I don't
have
know because I haven't I honestly haven't checked the reviews for Lies of P yet. Because I wanted to check out the game myself. I feel like if a person feels like, okay, I don't need to switch weapons or I don't need to like experiment with weapons, that means that the combat is just that strong for you to not to have to do that.
so I used different weapons when I was fighting
Hmm.
because you have elements like shock and flame when
Yeah,
you're fighting enemies. And for some enemies, I would say, oh, this weapon is better because it counters whatever they are, right?
yeah, their element or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I did try to remove like this handle and put this blade in, but in my brain was like,
Mm.
this is wrong because
Yeah.
I'm using this. Let's use a dagger as an example.
Hmm.
One of my favorite weapons of the game is a fire dagger. All right,
Yeah.
and I tried to remove the handle and put it like on my sword handle,
Hmm.
and I was just like, it doesn't feel. It's not the weapon that I fell in love with.
So it handles like a sword, but it has a dagger blade.
Yes,
Yeah, that sounds weird.
it is. It is weird, but and then
Yeah.
you say, oh, maybe the system is not good. I can tell you that it is good. It is
Okay.
so good, even though I didn't do. The
Yeah.
people on the internet, they were like sharing their build. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I put this handle with this, and the combat's so much better. And I do this one and this one to reduce damage, and this one for the
Yeah.
elements. So people are actually going crazy of it. And after the huge success of its launch,
Mm.
they still patching the game. They already announced a DLC coming up, officially announced a DLC
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
And the CEO of the company made a video, a 10 minutes long video talking about the game. And he mentions updates,
Mm.
especially on the weapon, because
Okay.
people wanted even more. And he's like, you want more? We're going to give you more. No more weapons, but more types of customization and
Yeah.
balance to make the weapon stronger or
Mm.
weaker according to the combo that you're making. So I
Yeah.
truly believe that they are doing a great job. It's a
Okay.
first game of the studio,
Yeah.
Korean studio, right? Graphics are beautiful. They picking up this story that is the Pinocchio. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Pinocchio, right? And they're doing their little twist of this story to make like a more Dark Souls y,
Yeah.
you know. Um the bad things about it is, like I said, the combat with some bosses are very, they might feel unfair to you,
Mm.
is way more linear than Elden Ring, for example,
Yeah.
which is something that I appreciate. Like I said, please do guide me, you know,
Yeah.
please do guide me. Um, and there is a gimmick in the game that is about lying,
Mm.
right? Because Pinocchio lies and he
Yeah.
becomes a human, right? And
Yeah.
in the game, you have that too. You're a puppet, and if you lie, you become more and more human. But
Okay.
yes, but there is only, and I don't know, I'm gonna just mention it. There
Hmm.
is actually one really important decision, and that's about it.
Okay.
The other decisions, they don't matter that much, and the
Okay.
outcome of it all.
Yeah. Okay.
There is
Okay.
one that it does, but all the others, like, it's okay,
Yeah.
it's okay, whatever you do. But it's,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Dang.
my game of the year,
Oh wow. Okay. Your game of the year. Awesome. All right.
and I'm playing Blasphemous offline, which I'm addicted to it, and I'm playing whenever I have a second.
Yeah. All right. So that's your list, or
That's my whole list. Yeah,
okay? Damn, that's still a long list.
is it? So
that, that is still a long list. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I was like, because my list is longer than I thought, but it's still relatively short. Because, like I said, I played Hades, so I beat
good,
that.
good, lovely
Um,
game.
Early in the year, we got Metroid Prime remastered, like I said,
Oh, you
and
played that?
oh, yeah, well, I beat it like back in the day on the GameCube. So I played the remake on
Oh,
Switch, and it is so that's one of those first person games that I love. And it's a
okay,
good game.
okay.
It's a really good game. There is one a little bit of a thing. and it's not bad. It's just a product of its time, and that
Oh,
is so when you play through the game, it's technically a linear game because it's very isolationist, and you have to like explore the world, right? Because that's how
okay.
Metroid games tend to work. But there's a lot of backtracking. That's one. So if you're not a big fan of backtracking, that might turn you off a little bit. The other part is that there eventually you have to find these keys so that you can open up a door to the like the final level and be able to beat the boss. That I think might put some people off, but as a remaster, this is probably one of the best remasters that I played, and that is saying a
Damn.
lot
Damn.
because the
Okay.
original game was already really good, and then like in my mind, like you know how you have like nostalgic feelings about stuff, and you're like, oh, this is what I think that it looks like. That's what this is. Like in my mind's eye, that's how I always felt that Metroid Prime looked like. But now
Okay.
it matches my mind's like imagination that filled in like the blanks that the original game had, right? So it looks amazing. You have different control schemes, which is great because now it feels more like a modern game than it did on the GameCube because the GameCube did not have two analog sticks. It had an analog nub, which like I have my GameCube controller here because I play Smash with it. But
Oh,
you
you are
have
one of
this like,
those.
oh yeah, oh yeah, I play this little nubbin here. That's for your camera back in the day, and that was not great. I'm gonna tell you that much. You didn't like it's like, but they fixed that. They fixed the controls in the remake. You can also play classic controls if you want to. I don't think you can play with a GameCube controller, but you can play like classic control style, um, which yeah, it doesn't feel that great. It's like with Resident Evil HD remaster. It doesn't feel great. Like I played, I had the same problem that you had when I played. It was like, oh, this feels way more clunkier than I remember.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was
Oh
like,
my god.
oh, I was like, oh, I wish I bought the Wii version of like of that game because yeah. Um, but yeah, so Metroid Prime remastered. Honestly, I wish it could be Game of the Year contender, but there are so many good games that came out. I After that one, yeah, we had Tears of the Kingdom. I love I already talked about it, but I love the poop of that out of that game. Then we got then I played Pikmin 4.
Oh, how is
No,
that?
no, sorry, I'm lying. I'm lying. Before that, I played Street Fighter 6 and got the why is Street Fighter 6 not a standard at this point? Because they have cracked the code of having a competitive fighting game being accessible.
Oh, how so?
So you know how Smash works, right?
Yes, I do.
You have your normal attacks, you have your directional attacks, you have your special attacks that also have directions. Street Fighter 6's modern controls basically works like that. So you have your regular attacks, you have your directional attacks, and then you have your directional specials. And you can map that to whatever you want.
Hold on. So, is there like a one button special kind of thing? Like a
Yeah,
press
so
of one button is
you
gonna
have
do
one
a
button, it does
super?
a special, it does a special attack. You can modify it with another button, and that creates the super. And that you can
Mm,
have it be in different directions as well.
I see that you're saying that's a good thing because it makes it more accessible.
It makes it more accessible for people like me who like even though I've played like Street Fighter for years and years, I'm a casual Street Fighter fan. I'm not tournament level. I've never been tournament level, no matter the smack talk that I've given people. And I know that I'll never be that because I do not have the time or the dexterity for it. But the modern controls in Street Fighter 6 allows me to play how I feel like I've always been playing. So it gives me better
Oh,
control of when I'm like throwing attacks, and
okay.
it's made me appreciate what tournament fighters have been doing for so long, and that is learning timing, learning my attacks, learning how they work, learning when to throw an attack, when to try to defend, when to try to counter. Like, I appreciate fighting games way more because of it, and I kind of wish like the other games that are coming out, so like Tekken 8 is coming out next year, early next year. I'm pretty sure they're not doing something like that.
Isn't it this year? I thought it was this year.
Is Tekken 8? No, Tekken 8 is early next year. It's like, I
Let me
think,
double check here.
January.
Let me double check. Why are you talking?
Yeah,
Tekken
they had a
8.
beta this year, but it's not
Oh, it's
coming out this
January
year.
2000. Yeah,
Yeah, it's January.
next year.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No, 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 it's fine. It's like, because they did have a beta this year. They had like a closed beta, I think, like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And yeah, so like that's not gonna have something like that. Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't have something like that. It would be nice if they retroactively put something like that in there. Um, but I, it would be nice to have that ability to have a nice even playing field, and that's what the
Yeah,
modern controls does. They do have another control scheme called dynamic. I tried that. I did not like that at all. I don't think that's a viable way to play fighting games, because that one basically does what Super Street Fighter 4 did on the 3DS, where you're just, everything is just one button, and it throws attacks, I think, based on your directional input alone. So it basically
ah,
works like modern controls, but it's even more simplified.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So it
to
allows you to
me,
be like, it allows you to play classic if you're playing classic, but once it notices that your inputs are being sloppy, it then kind of does a switch so that you're still playing and it seems competent, but you're not really in control. It feels.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. So considering that I never play what you call modern control, I've only played classic controls on
Mm.
Street Fighter, and also considering that have I haven't played these new Street Fighters. Like my favorite Street Fighter of all time is Street Fighter Alpha 2, which is from
My guy.
1998,
My
1999, something like
guy.
that, right? So that's my favorite one of all time.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay,
I can respect that.
so so I haven't played a lot. I have played, I think, of the five because it was on sale, and
Yeah.
I played once, and that's about it.
Mm.
And I was hyped to see the six. There's a person that I watch on stream that plays six, and I love watching her play. So the thing what you're telling me about accessibility is great, but in my opinion, is it should have an option. Like, do you wanna play modern control? If you say yes, it should only match against people playing modern
I think you
control.
can do that.
Because then it's I feel like it's a like you said, a playing
Yeah.
field
No, you
to
can
go
you
on,
can
right?
choose who you play against. So if you want to play
Yeah,
up
so
against
that's
people with
fantastic. If
modern
they have
controls,
that,
or you want to play mixed, it's all in there. But like, it's also cross
fantastic.
platform,
Okay.
so like the pool is
Oh,
big. Yeah, yeah,
fantastic. They did a good
yeah.
job there. GG to them.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about like playing against someone who's playing modern controls. Although, to be fair, if someone like, I'm pretty sure there are people now, because the game has been out for what, 4 months now, 5 months, maybe 6 months now. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there are people out there that have mastered modern controls to the point that where they probably can be pretty competitive.
Okay.
Yeah,
But no, but I think if you master the modern control, I think it is to make
yeah,
even on high level players, because I see tournament of and people like the interviewer was asking like we use classic or modern, and there is space for both of
yeah.
them. You know, it's just you just have to, in my opinion, you just have to use the same whatever. If you were in a
Mm,
competition, you got to be in the same weight
yeah,
category, and that would be a weight category for gaming. Is like you use the same kind of controllers
yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think I haven't checked that Capcom Cup lately, so I don't know if they've done that, but I'm pretty sure. Knowing them, they probably do something like that. Yeah.
All
So
right.
Street Fighter 6, I played it, I loved it. Then came Pikmin 4. And I think this probably is the best Pikmin game, period. Like I've
I never played a Pikmin game, but I wanted to play 4 because of the trailer.
four like here's the thing, you don't have to worry about the other Pikmin games if you're thinking about story, just play 4. Cuz 4 is a soft reboot of the story. So
Smart.
they take some elements from the previous games in terms of the characters, but it's like very light hints that those games gave, and they use that to like construct a new story. And the way this one works is, I feel like this one is put together better. The flow of the game is a lot better than the other ones were. I'm not saying that the others were bad because my favorite was Pikmin 2. Like
Okay.
I love Pikmin 2, I love Pikmin 3, but I feel that the only good thing about Pikmin 3 was the control scheme. And
Okay.
it's a really pretty game, and it takes their only one thing is that there's a mechanic in the game that's like you have to like gather fruit to survive, and you have to
Okay.
make juice out of that fruit. At a certain point in the second half of the game, around the midway of the game, it gets harder to get the fruit. So you're always like stressing about getting the fruit. So grind a little bit, and once you've finally gotten a lot of nutrients so that you can actually play the game normally, that's when it feels more comfortable. So that's why I don't really like the third game that much. Like the fruit mechanic is fine, but it adds an unnecessary point of stress. 4 does not have that.
Yeah, which again, I never played it. It's just what I saw of the fourth
Hmm.
game. It doesn't seem the kind of game that you should be stressing out about anything. It seems like such a chill and cozy game. I don't know.
Yeah, so the first game does have a timer where like you have to like put your spaceship together within a certain time, because if you don't, then it's game over, or not game over, but you get the bad ending. Um, and I've seen the bad ending. That one is depressing. Like you look at that game and you're like, oh, that's cute, but like it has a bad ending and it's depressing.
Oh damn, wasn't expecting
Yeah,
that.
and like they actually use that bad ending as like a little bit of like the plot of the fourth game. So that's what I meant with like they took
Oh,
elements from the stories of the previous games to make the soft reboot of 4.
smart,
Yeah.
very very smart.
The second one does not have that pressure. So for whatever reason, the first and the third game have time pressures, different time pressures, but time pressures nonetheless. And the second game does that. The second game also has co-op. The third game also has co-op,
Oh,
and the fourth game has co-op. So basically, since the second
okay,
game
okay.
on, they added co-op, but in different ways.
J- just because you mentioned time and you also mentioned that you're playing Mario Bros.
Hmm.
Wonder, this is the first 2D Mario Bros. That does not have a timer.
I
Did you
did
notice
notice
that?
that. That was the first thing I noticed, because
That is, I find that
it's
so
actually kind of
interesting.
refreshing. Because now you can just explore a level, and they did that on purpose because they want you to explore the levels. And
Absolutely, yeah.
I learned really quickly that I am bad at exploring 2D levels. Because it wasn't until after I beat Mario Wonder, um, it wasn't until after I beat Bowser and went back to the levels that I learned that I missed a lot, like a lot.
Hold on, you
Oh
already
yeah, I
finished
beat
the game?
Bowser already. Yeah, it's not that hard.
My man, you
That was
fast.
not even
Damn.
fast. I'm gonna be honest. Like I've seen people do it faster, and it,
Oh, wow.
and
GG,
that
congratulations.
was the point I was making with Celeste. Right? Is that Celeste like adds something more to the 2D platforming. Super Mario Wonder does that as well, but not to the same extent. and it's a little bit of a shame that, but they like Nintendo always tends to do this. Like the main levels will always be accessible. Like that's their, their mo. They try to make it as accessible as possible, and that's fine, right? So that even the youngest of players can technically beat the game. Although to be fair, after playing the game, Bowser is a little bit challenging. Um, but they also put less bosses in this game, which also affects the pace
Oh,
because there are
okay.
6 worlds, and then you get to
Hmm.
Bowser. But of the 6 worlds, there are, I want to say, 4 boss battles. There are 4 boss battles.
Only.
2 of them are, I want to say, one of them is an airship battle, and it sucks. The airship battles, by the airship levels, by the way, are fun. But at the end, like, have you played like Super Mario Brothers 3? So yeah.
Yes,
So
long time
at,
ago.
at the end of an airship level, you'd have to face off against like this boss character called Boom Boom.
I
Yeah,
think I remember. Yeah.
that's not there. It is a Bowser machine maker that has
Oh.
a weak, like a press this button and I'll self destruct. So all you have to do is get to the end,
Oh.
press the button, and that's it. The first time I
They
played
miss an
that and figured
opportunity.
that, realized that that was it, I was so sad because I was like, oh, you have to hit it multiple times, and like it gets more harder because it's like a little obstacle course to get to it. It's not even that hard of an obstacle course. You just
Hmm.
like find the timing to run through all the obstacles and you get there. There's only one that does it a
Oh man.
little bit harder, and that's because you have to like pull like a switch as far as possible so that you have the time to actually get through it, and like you hit the buttons, like that's it, and like, oh, that's so bad. There's one world even
Yeah.
that doesn't even have a boss battle. It ends with like a more challenging level. The level was good, don't get me wrong, the
Okay.
level was good, but like I'm like, oh, okay, cool, but there's no boss battle, so like that felt weird.
It's a bit. It's a bit
Yeah,
disappointing, right? Because you always expect that because you're building up, you're building up, you're
yeah,
building up, and then at the end you don't
yeah.
deliver.
In that case, I was
It's a
like,
bit
oh,
off.
the challenge was the boss battle. It's like, no, no, that's not how that works. I want a boss battle. I,
And Mario Wonder is the most recent game you played.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the most recent game I
Is
played, technically. Nope. Yeah. So that one, I forgot one actually in between. Starfield.
Oh, okay. I wanna okay, okay, okay,
Have you played Starfield
okay,
or not?
okay, okay. I
Okay.
have not for one
And which
simple
is?
reason. I saw
Hmm.
Asmongold comparing it to GTA 3.
Wait, what's wrong with that?
You tell me. You
Yeah.
played the
Okay.
game. Did you like the game?
All right. So I have clocked in maybe 20-ish hours.
Okay.
So I've gotten past the tutorial point of the game, and I'm basically free to do whatever I want. The last thing I did before I stopped playing, I'm still playing it, but I'm playing it really on and off, was I was on this planet. I was doing something on this planet. I somehow came into possession of contraband. I don't remember how I got the contraband. I wanted to go back to the starting planet, and then I got pulled over into a forced quest where I have to now infiltrate like this pirate crew called the Crimson Fleet. I am so pissed off right now. I was so pissed off because before that I was just doing whatever I want. I was experimenting with building bases. I suck at that. I was like gathering resources. I was exploring planets. And now just because I forgot that I had something that I'm not supposed to. Now I'm stuck in this stupid mission, which I don't know how long this is going to last, but this feels like it's a side quest that's gonna take 10 hours, and I'm not happy.
Oh my
And it's
god.
like, I
No,
don't understand
no.
why this is a forced thing. Why I didn't like I could get I was given the option to like get out of it, but to get out of it meant that now I would be basically persona non grata by like basically the police force of the universe, which would not be great
Oh,
if I'm being hunted down by the UC and being hunted down by the space pirates, because you start the game by basically thwarting the space pirates. So if they figure out that you were the guy that got away with what they were after, then it stops being fun. Like every time I go to a planet, I have to like look over my shoulder to see like if anybody's gonna turn me in or something. Yeah,
yeah.
that's not fun.
So yeah,
And I don't understand it because like
I
I've played Fallout 3, I've played New Vegas, I've played actually I played Skyrim. None of them have something like this. And I don't understand why it's like that. And on top of that, I'm going to say like if Starfield ends up being nominated for Game of the Year, I'm going to call shenanigans on it. Because no, yeah, I'm
oh,
not saying
oh,
it's a bad game. I'm saying it does not deserve Game of the Year.
I'm very glad you said that because here's the thing. I
Yeah.
haven't played the game and I want to preface with that, right?
Yeah.
I haven't played the game. I have asked multiple people around me to like, should I invest time on this game? I have one very good friend. She's dear
Mm,
to my heart. She's like, Alan, I already finished once. I'm actually playing again because the game kind of like opens up even more after you finish the
mm,
first time. So go and play it. Then I talked to another person. Another person said, oh, it's a good game. It has many flaws,
mm.
but it's a good game. And then the third person said, it's an unplayable game if you think it was released in 2023. And that, my friend, is where I sit. Why is that? Because when I see
Mm,
Asmongold comparing with
yeah.
GTA 3, is that doesn't mean that GTA 3 is
Yeah.
any less,
It feels like an
but
outdated playstyle.
it feels like I'm playing a 2005 game in 2023 that was released in
Okay, in that
2023.
context, Asmongold is right.
You see, and that is the only reason why I'm not playing the game.
But here's the thing: I don't even mind that it feels like that because, again, I've played Fallout 3, and that is like from that era, and I don't mind that at all. But my main, honestly, my main problem is that this game was not. How do I say this? How do I say this without being a complete and total jerk? This
Just
this
say it,
game
man.
should not have come out in the state that it is, and it should not have come out with the game design that it had, because this does not feel like a game that should come out in 2023 at all. It's like
Okay.
if you're, especially
Okay.
if
Okay.
we're going to talk about game of the year competition, look at Spider-Man 2, right? Look at
Oh
Spider-Man
my
2.
god.
That one is like everybody that I've talked to and I've seen talking about it will always bring up that this feels like a modern game. This feels like a game that is made for today. Like between it maximizing the abilities um of the PlayStation 5. That first and foremost, the fact that it has like very low loading, you don't have that in Starfield. It feels like something that came out like 15 years ago because it was designed like
Oh,
a game made 15 years ago.
and that's another thing. Just because you mentioned that, right? They also compare to Cyberpunk
2077. Yeah, yeah.
2077. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2077, right? Um, and there's like you play
Mm.
Cyberpunk, you get out of the car, you go into a nightclub, and all
Yes.
seamlessly. And then you try to do the same thing with Starfield. Get out of
Load.
the car, load. Then you are on the street, and then you go open the door to enter
You
another
get on
space,
your ship,
load.
it has to
And I
load.
was like,
That and that and that
oh
and
my
we've come full
god.
circle, Alan. We've come full circle. What did I say about Tears of the Kingdom? You can jump off. You
Oh yeah,
can jump off
yes,
a sky
no load.
island, skydive all the way down to the main level, go through the hole to the underground, and there is zero loading on a system that is
Look at
older
that.
than the Xbox Series. Like it's less powerful than a Series S or an Xbox One for that matter, and it still has this kind of. I don't understand. I do not understand that how. Look
Yes,
at how long they spent on this game. I think they spent. When did Fallout 76 come out? Like 2000. I don't even remember when that came out. It was like
76. It came out
so.
2018.
Let's say.
But I heard 76 is not a good game,
Yeah,
by
we
the
do
way.
not talk about 76. Um, we only bring it up. We only bring it up as a reference point. But referencing that,
Okay.
they have separate teams, right, working on different games. Right. I think Bethesda has like two teams that work on games. So one always works on Fallout, the other works on other stuff, and the one that works on other stuff worked on Starfield. So let's say they started pre-production before 2018 on Starfield. Yeah, it is 2023. Like between when they finished the design doc for the game and the game coming out, there is a whole ass generation of gaming that happened. And they never thought to go back and change anything. And considering that it used to be originally supposed to be multi-platform, I could kind of understand why it was the way it is, but after they got acquired, they should have gone back to the drawing board and look at what was going to be the future of gaming and then work from there. Or at the very least, like the Microsoft team should have said, hey, this is what the specs are going to be for their next generation system. This is the tools that you can work with. Try and utilize that. It feels like they didn't do that at all because it does not feel like something that is supposed to be like a new game releasing on a new system. It feels like something that came out that should have come out for like the Xbox One.
And that is the point that I'm like, I don't
And
think I
that's
can
also
play this.
yeah,
I just don't think
and that's
I
also
can
why I'm
play
saying
this.
it does not deserve to get Game of the Year nomination. No matter how fun people think it is, or like genuinely feel that it is to them, that's fine. I don't want to take that away from anybody. But that does not
Hmm.
mean that it is Game of the Year material.
I'm so glad you say that, because I want to do a quick switch here to the Joy-Con, the Golden
Yeah,
Joystick
yeah, we
Award
got that in
winners,
front of
right?
us. Yeah.
And then I
Mm.
don't know why they have Nintendo Game of the Year, PlayStation Game of the Year, and Xbox Game of the Year, and PC Game of the Year. So they have like the
Yeah, but that's
platform
always
Game
the
of the
case.
Year. All right.
Yeah.
But I never seen
Okay.
this before. I, Alan,
Okay.
never
Okay.
seen this before.
Yeah.
It's my first time
Mm.
seeing this, right? So you're gonna see Nintendo, Legend of Zelda, Tears of Kingdom. We have been praising Tears of Kingdom on this podcast right now. We've been praising it, right? And then you go to the PC, it's Baldur's Gate. Makes sense. It is the game that, even though I haven't played, I think it deserves to win Game of the Year just by the reviews that I'm seeing, by the amount of work, by the no microtransactions, by being a
Hmm.
complete game, no patch. GG to the devs. Congratulations. Deserve Game of the Year. Then you
Yeah.
go PlayStation, Game of the Year, Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Mm.
I haven't played it. Don't know much about it. I thought it would be Spider-Man, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you go for Xbox Game of the Year. It's freaking Starfield. And
Yes.
that
Okay. I didn't even look that far. Yeah, that makes no sense. I would not. Here's a. I don't understand why that is even. What is even on that list? Actually, what's their short list? Okay, I'm looking at their short list. It has Chance of Sinner? What the? I've never heard of that. Hi-Fi Rush, Planet of Lana, Dead Space remake, Pentiment. Why did Dead Space remake not win that one?
Why? Why? Or whatever.
Actually, you know what?
Hi-Fi
Even High.
Rush.
Thank you. I
Yes.
almost forgot. I
Yes.
played Hi-Fi Rush this year. It is friggin'
Yes.
fun. It's a solid. It's an actual solid game. What the
Dude,
hell?
the trailer came out when I was on stream. All right. And
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
moment that they showed, I was like, this is a rhythm game and it looks awesome. And then it was a rhythm game and then it looked awesome. And I was like,
And then they
I
dropped
want
it
to
the
play
same
this game.
day.
And they dropped it. And I was like, I got to play this immediately. I have to go to work, but I want to play this right now. And I didn't finish. I'm not going to say that I finished. I didn't finish, but it's
Yeah,
a solid ass
it's
game.
a
It's
solid
fun
ass
to
game.
play.
Yes,
I don't know why the fuck they put
I will say.
Starfield here.
I will say this. I don't understand. Like I said already, right? Starfield, by personally, I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. I would rather have Hi-Fi Rush be that they put that on like the Game of the Year shortlist at the Game Awards because that at least that's a solid game that was like made for 2023 and it feels like a 2023 game.
It does. It does, my friend. And
I
I
don't
don't I
understand
don't
how
know.
Starfield won, and I don't. I'm like the other game that I was talking about, Chance of Sinnar, doesn't even have a link. Like all the other games have a hot link on this list. Chance of Sinnar does not have a hot link. Where did this game come from? I have
I
never
don't
heard of this
never
game.
heard of it. Let me take a look at it. Because I really never heard of this game before
Like
until
Planet
right
of
now.
Lana, like I've heard that's a solid game. Pentiment, I've heard that's a solid game. But they're smaller games, so I understand why they didn't win, which is still a shame. But Starfield should not have won.
What
It's
is
not the best game
this?
on Xbox. It is honestly not the best game on Xbox. I feel like they gave that the win because it's a Microsoft like developed and published game.
Oh well, but
So you
then why
figured
did
out
they
what
give
Chance of Senna is?
why did they give PlayStation Resident Evil 4 then? And not any of the like PlayStation exclusive games?
Huh.
If that was to be the case, right?
Wait, when was this list put out? It was published a day ago. Wait. Where's huh? That makes no sense. Where's Spider-Man 2?
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Okay, this list makes no sense.
But that's the winner. That's the winners. They won.
That makes huh? Wait, hang on a second. Because Spider-Man 2 is on the short list for Game of the Year. It
So
didn't even make the short list for PlayStation.
how? Tell me how.
I don't know.
And
But look, at this point, like, that's so weird. Like, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on the short list for the Game Awards, so like that is a given. I don't know if it's going to win, but it's a strong contender. I'm not denying that. This makes no sense. The Joystick Awards makes no sense. Nothing makes sense anymore.
what
What
is
the?
life? Life doesn't make any sense. Oh no.
It's not even on their short list. That makes no sense to me.
Max, just before we finish, because we've been recording for 1.5 hours already,
Yeah,
do
I
you
know it
want
goes fast.
do you want to tell us what do you believe is going to be the game of the year?
Oh damn, you should not have asked that. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So if I'm going to be completely honest, the game that has had the biggest footprint in basically like the conversations of throughout the year, it has been Baldur's Gate 3. Like it has been the most vocally spoken about, it has been the most memed game, it has been the most praised game, flaws and all. Um I don't there's nothing in my mind that tells me that any other game would win. Yes, and that's saying a lot considering that I feel like Tears of the Kingdom should probably win. But if I'm looking at it objectively, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate.
I am with you 100% for the same reason. I think everywhere I go, whoever I talk to, they go Baldur's Gate. I played Baldur's Gate. I'm not a big fan of RPG. That and the price is
Mm,
the main reasons why I didn't play Baldur's Gate. Um, but anywhere I go, I feel like they're gonna win because again, full game released, no microtransactions, good voice acting. You can play the game seriously if you want and you're gonna have fun,
yeah,
or you can play the game just for memes and troll and see boops and deeks, whatever,
yeah.
and you're still gonna have a lot of fun. According to what people have been saying, again, I haven't played it, uh,
I have.
but
I
so you
haven't.
have
I
seen
didn't
the
even
boobs.
talk about it. It's like what the hell?
So it's I feel that is the game of the year. But now,
Yeah.
if you ask me which one I wanted to win,
Well, I already know that
I
one.
am excited and avoiding Alan Wake. Alan
Hmm.
Wake, I've seen reviews of 10 out of 10 from people.
Okay,
And I'm like, interesting. It has my name. It's a
that's
horror
one.
game.
Yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be rooting for Alan Wake. But objectively speaking, I know that Baldur's Gate will take this one.
Yeah. The yes, I didn't even talk about my gaming experience with Baldur's Gate. So
Please do.
I
Please
have
do.
two gaming experiences with Baldur's Gate 3. I'm gonna try and keep it as short as possible because I've talked about it before on the podcast. But I've played it on stream, I've played it single player on stream, and I've played a campaign with friends. So I have two different experiences in that different decisions were made with the multiplayer versus the decisions that I made solo. And both have influenced one another in that we have made decisions like as a group in the multiplayer. So we'll one of us will eventually make a decision and then we'll choose that, and then we either get through it unscathed or we end up in and it's like sometimes we will make like we think like it's a funny thing. It's like, oh, ha ha ha. It's like, oh, battle, oh crap, we were not prepared for this. like we haven't healed from the last battle. I'm like half health. I'm like, I used all my magic charges. I don't have anything except my cal traps, and it's like, oh no, we're so dead. And then the
Now we're
single
dead.
and then the single player stuff is like just decisions that I would make myself because I'm role playing this character. And I don't 100% throw myself in. I just make decisions that fit my personality. And
Oh, okay.
usually,
Uh,
if I'm lucky, I
okay.
get the luck and I get the dice roll and it's in my favor and it works out.
Good.
Except for when
Usually.
it doesn't, and then I end up in a battle and I die and I have to do it all over again, which is like at least 75%, like no, it's 50% of the time. And the way it works is because there's a karma system in the game that looks at how many times you've had like a good roll, and it looks at how many
Oh,
times
so
the
it
enemy has had
balances
a good roll.
out.
So at a certain point you'll have bad rolls because it's
You
balancing
will
it
have
out.
bad rolls.
Yeah,
You
I
just
will
gotta
have.
choose when, kinda.
Exactly. So I don't know when it happens because I don't know, like, unless I keep score of how many times I've had good rolls, it's like, I have to be careful about the rolls right now. But if you're gonna play it like that, that just takes the fun out of it. You should just play it. So I just play it, and then it's like you try not to like scum save. So like if you get a bad roll, not don't reload, just
Yes.
play with your consequences. If you die, then you
Playthrough,
get
yeah.
to do it over again. But like if you roll the dice, you play with the consequences that you have. I have scum saved a couple of times. I have scum saved. I have to admit it. I have to admit it because it is documented. But at least I've done it as a few. I've done it the least amount of times as possible. But
Okay, least amount of time,
it's
50 times.
maybe two or three. No, but that's also the fun of the game. It's like rolling, like you never know what you're gonna expect, and some characters like are so like sometimes you're like, oh, that's a little aggressive. Um, Even though like you think like, oh, it's like, oh, there are moments in that game. And then like because I played it from like when it came out when version one finally dropped, and then like when patch one and two dropped, I've played it. I haven't played it since patch two dropped, so that's been a while. Patch 3 fixes a lot of things. One of the things that they fixed was this very infamous scene where you walk in on two monsters expressing their emotions in a very mature way.
Okay.
And
Is it the
original,
bear scene?
yeah. No,
Oh,
no,
I've
no,
heard
it's not.
about
No,
it.
it's not the bear scene. It's not the druid
Oh,
scene.
okay, okay.
No,
Sorry,
this
sorry.
is a different one. It's between a ogre female and a hugbear. Uh, yeah, if you've seen a ogre, they're big, and if you've seen a hugbear, they're maybe slightly shorter than a human. Yeah. Now try and imagine like you walk in on that.
I don't know if I want to imagine that,
You
Max.
don't want to imagine that. And the worst part is, before the patch, apparently that was like people did not like that. So now they added the option so that you can get out of it peacefully. You did not have the option to get out of that conflict peacefully. You couldn't be like, oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry, just like continue what you're doing. We didn't see anything. No, they just come out and you're like, you have to like kill them. It's kind of sad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
But it's like you it's so bad too. It's like that. You know how like in movies they talk about like walking in on your parents while they're it's
Mhm.
literally that, but you're walking in on monsters. It's
Oh my god.
like
Oh my god.
you hear the noise coming out of the barn and you're like,
What
that
is happening?
sounds weird. That sounds unusual. So you go to investigate because that's what you do, right? You're an adventurer. This is not something that you're supposed to walk in on.
You're not prepared. They don't
You're
prepare
not,
you
they
for
don't
this,
prepare
Max.
you for this. It's
They
like,
don't.
and it's so mean because the first time I experienced it, though, no, sorry, the only time I experienced this was during the multiplayer session. And my friend had already played through that part. So he knew what was coming and he didn't say anything.
Of course.
And
You
it's
need
like,
to see the word
I was
burn.
like, what's that noise? He's just like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
You know what, Max? You should go there and investigate.
He's like, go check it out. I'm like, I don't wanna. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, that does not sound fine. And I open the door. It's like, oh, I hate you so much right now. And he's just laughing. Oh gosh. And I was like, wait, why does it not give me the option to like handle this peacefully? Everything else has the option to handle it peacefully. Why can't I not just like say I'm sorry? Didn't mean to.
And walk away.
We'll let you go on in peace. Oh no. It's so
I
bad. But yeah, that's Baldur's Gate 3, man. I still need to finish it, but it is so much fun. Like
mean,
it's
it was released because I've heard so many good things about it.
mm,
I was like, but it's an RPG game.
yeah.
I wanted to at least give it a try
Mm,
before I buy because it's an expensive game too,
yeah.
right? And then someone say, "Oh no, we have Baldur's 3 gates on Game Pass." I was like, "What?" It's like,
No,
"Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
a game called Solasta," and I was like, "Oh my god, don't play that game. It's a Baldur's Gate from Wish.
Oh.
Don't play it."
Oh my god, from Wish he says. Oh my, okay. So it's basically we have Baldur's Gate at home.
Yes, yes, that's about it.
Mommy, I want Baldur's Gate 3. We have Baldur's Gate 3 at home.
We do Solasta.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. Duly noted. Yeah, I think we are at yeah, I think we're at I think we're that's the end of it then, right?
I think so. It's almost two
Baldur's Gate
hours.
3 is probably gonna win.
They will win.
Yeah.
I truly believe it will win.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, then I mean Stray won the last time, so like who am I to say? Wait, was it no, Stray did not win, sorry.
I
It
think
takes
it's
two
straight one
won.
best
No,
game of the year.
yeah, Stray did not win Game of the Year. Elden
Year
Ring Elden
2022.
Ring won Game of the Year.
Elden Ring.
That's
Elden
when
Ring.
we had
Yeah.
the kid come
Just
on
Google.
stage and do the whole my rabbi is Bill Clinton, blah blah blah.
I
Remember that?
haven't.
You haven't seen that?
I've heard about it.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
heard.
see
Oh,
it.
you didn't see it. Oh, yeah, that
No.
was weird. I hope nothing like that happens this year because I hope they increase the security on that one. But so Elden Ring won last year. The year before was It Takes Two. Nobody saw that coming because it was an indie
For.
game.
F- Oh yeah, they did,
Yeah,
which
they
is a
did.
great game.
It
I
is a
find.
great game.
I also find a little bit too long, but I don't know. Maybe I am
Yeah, yeah, I
tired
will.
of
I
it.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a little bit longer than I would have liked it to be, but it's still a great game,
Great game indeed.
and it deserved it. So
They did. They did.
yeah. All right. So with that said, we have come to the end of this episode. AlanBug, thank you so much for being here. Would you please kindly tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
Oh yeah, you can find me on any platform: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, with the handle the AlanBug. All right. I've been creating some reaction content to K-pop, which I'm a noob of.
Oh, okay.
So that's something which is makes even more interesting, because I
Yeah.
don't know anything about it, and then they throw me there, and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? And sometimes it's great. Like I got to know a band called EXO,
Okay.
and I'm very happy that I did because they rock.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm not streaming as frequently now because of college, but after December, I am I will go back to streaming at least 2 times a week and creating more content offline. Max, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this talk. Was incredible.
Yeah, I appreciate that you were here. Thank you so much for being here. And you can find us on every podcasting service. Our home is on Spotify, but we're also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, you name it, we're probably there. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching and for sticking with us for this long through our conversation. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get more of this fun content. And of course, you can send your feedback to gamerivalsfeedback@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at Maximilian_X. You can also find me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Maximilian_X. And that is it. So, as always, I have been and always will be Maximilian X.
And I've been and I will always be the Alan Bug.
And we'll catch y'all next time. Later.
Bye.